Hello and welcome to 2S Tier 1 at Hungary. Today we are 11 drivers on the grid and we've just all trying to calm down still from a brilliant race today at the Brazilian Grand Prix in real life. So I just need to quickly get my nerves in check. But welcome to 2S and F1 and I think it's going to be a great track today. Hungary is quite liked by a lot of the drivers. I commentated on this for Tier 2 on Tuesday. And we saw some quite exciting racing and also quite a few interesting overtakes as well. So I'm looking forward to see what the Tier 1 drivers are able to produce. Today we basically have a blue grid and one Ferrari and one Alfa Romeo. So I feel like my game is very quiet actually. I'm going to turn it up a bit. I think something's going on with the sound settings there. So bear with me real quick while I try and get the audio settings back up again. Master volume to 4. There you go. I think that should be good enough. Now you should be able to hear better. And as that was happening, Speedy sets the first lap time of a 1:16.4. So I do think that the drivers will probably get a little bit better than that. I believe we saw a 1:15 in Tier 2, if my memory serves me correctly. So potentially we'll see something similar happening in this race. I don't believe we'll see a 1:25 though. Anyways, Justin, the championship leader in his Red Bull, coming around the final corner now. See what he's able to produce, and it looks like he is returning to pits. Okay. Anyways, down to Pandakoi. Not quite sure what the plan was there. Maybe a charge lap or something? He's doing an extra out lap? I'm not too sure. Maybe he just didn't want to show his true pace. Now, what is happening? Why are they doing this? I'm hella confused. Alright, let's go to Hyper. What? Is it, are they just trying to get an outlap on the soft tires or something? And maybe this is a strat or something that I'm not aware of. Anyways, Hyper coming around the final corner. Is he going to do the same thing? No, looks like he's gunning it to the start finish straight. And is he going to set it into P1? Yes, he does. 1:16.4. So he's set certainly in provisional pole at the moment. It looks like most of the drivers are in medium tires. Maybe that's what the issue is. So yeah, all the people have gone slightly slower. So Fox, Justin and Pandakoi, they've all been on soft tires. Maybe they see that is not the strategy to be on, as the two leaders at the moment are on mediums, and Justin has just confirmed in the chat they want to go to mediums, so that is indeed what is happening. So a little bit of a confusion there, but it looks like it's all sorted itself out. And I seem to have some sort of a spectator glitch with the engine noises. Let's try and see if it's for every single car. No. Yeah, it is. I believe you have to tab out of the game and tab back in. Let's try that. Nope, that's not fixed it in any sort of way or shape or form. So do bear with me. I don't know why I have this glitch, but it seems to be only for some drivers. As we see Pandakoi come into the pit lane, doesn't have this sort of stuttering. So yeah, the sounds are good for him. Anyways. Hi, Vito, welcome to the chat. Hyper on this. Oh, well, he's got the spectator glitch. I'm very sorry for this annoyance, but is that because he's half throttle? Is that why? The revs are jumping up and down all the time? Maybe it's because he's a half throttle. We'll have to wait and see then. But most of the drivers in the pits are doing an in-lap at the moment, so a bit of a quiet time. You've joined us in the quality session. But it should be quite interesting towards the end of the session, as I believe most of the drivers here are going onto medium tires, as Justin confirmed in chat, and Hyper is going for another lap. So he was having a cooldown lap, looks like he was. Let's jump aboard them with Hyper, as he is currently leading provisional pole. As he is, yeah, he was going for a cooldown lap, and now he's back out of it. I'm confused, man. I don't know what the strategy is here. That doesn't look like it's going to be the quickest way around. Maybe he's trying to spare these tires? I'm not sure. Let's go on board with someone else who is doing something. I know I can trust the others. Well, I don't know if I can, but Pixel, my main man from Ireland, he's always a very trustworthy person, like this bloke. Good driver as well. We have a race next weekend for the Minds charity that Jimmy Broadbent is hosting, so the 23 hours is older for Minds charity. I will be driving in it, Pixel will be driving it, some people in chat will be driving in it. And it would be great if you guys could come and support the 2S boys doing this race. I believe it will be streamed on the 2S channel. Don't quote me on that one. Please don't quote me on that one. But I believe there was talks about doing that. So we'll have to wait and see if that was going to happen. Anyways, Pixel coming to the end of his outlap. You see getting a great line to maximize his exit. onto the run of his hot lap now. So crosses the start-finish line. DRS open, ERS open. Is using all the stuff he can to help him blast down the straights. Into turn 1, nice and easy, onto third gear, into fourth. He's got someone in front of him. Hopefully they will get out the way fairly easy, and they do, so he does not have any sort of obstructions in his quali lap. Continues his run through us, and I was with him earlier today in voice chat when he was practicing. He was struggling quite a bit, but I think he is up to pace now, and it looks like he set a purple in sector 1. Now, is that a personal best, or is that actually a purple sector? I'm not quite sure. Sometimes the game shows a purple sector even if it is a personal best. But anyways, he navigates these curbs very nicely through the chicane parts down to fourth. Onto the final sort of sector now. Well, he's not on the final sector, he's still in the second sector, but heading towards the final sector, just a few more turns left. Fast right-hander here. It's quite easy to invalidate the lap, but he does stay within the track limits. Into a hard braking zone, 90-degree right-hander. And then he has a hairpin to navigate. It's looking like a pretty solid lap so far, and as I say, that is into the wall and out of the session. Pixel bins in the qualifying lap. That was not what I was hoping to see. Very unfortunate for him, because he was on a pretty good lap until that happened. Very, very upsetting for the Irish driver right there. F in chat indeed. So let's see what Justin's able to produce. Another really fast driver in this tier. Currently leading the championship, and he of course was also leading the championship before the merge. So I suspect nothing less than a top 3 position here from Justin, and see how he navigates the chicane. It's quite easy to invalidate here. So just a slight touch of the curb and you will go a bit slower, I believe it is. So into left right-hander section, he has that 186 up ahead of him. Not to be confused by that bounce 45, but it's okay. There seems to be a little bit of an obstruction on his lap. Not the worst. Maybe impeded him a little bit, so I'm not too sure if that would be... That definitely wasn't beneficial for his lap time indeed, but as he comes into the final 3 corners now, into the last corner, and he's getting quite a lot of oversteer. Let's see how he's able to navigate the short shifts to 4th, full throttle down to 5th, 6th. ERS open, ERS open. What's he able to produce? A 1:16.1. So he does set a session best with this lap time, but oh, Justin ain't leading the championship, by the way. Oh, well, I guess I've missed out on that memo. Oops, I'm very sorry for that. Well, Dragon, can you tell me if Red Bull is leading the Constructors' Championship? Because I do believe that is the case. If I'm wrong with that, just shoot me in the foot. Anyways, good lap from Justin, solid lap. He is on the medium tires and is leading. So there's a yellows in sector 3. Is that Torska? That is indeed Torska. So Torska has gone off the track. Does a little funny rejump. It gets out of the way of the Aston Martin of, I believe that is Cody Lawrence, so some people also will know him as Some Idiots, but yeah, Cody Lawrence joins us today. I think just trying to fill up the driver numbers a little bit more, which is nice to see. 13 drivers, pretty good set amount of drivers, I'd say. But yeah, Dragon confirms that Red Bull is leading the championship in chat, so thank you very much for that, Dragon, as he is one of the other drivers in this team, and he is... Please don't tell me you're doing another one of those, not pitting strategies. That seems to be a speciality of Dragon, starting last, making his way up the field. Don't know why, just qualify, like, okay, but anyways, you do you. It is a Dragon special. He has great res grasp because of all the experience he's got doing this, so let's see what Bogdan is able to produce here. He had a pretty solid race in Austria, and last time out around, I believe, as well, although in Austria he did DNF with 2-3 laps to go after spinning it with contact with Hyper. But anyways, here he is on his final few corners and on his hot lap. Let's see what he's able to produce into the first hairpin. Well, not first time, second last hairpin. Oh, very squirrely on the exit there, but still manages to keep the car under control. Nice tight line through the final corner down to the start finish straight. What's he able to do? He puts it into provisional pole with a 1:15.9, so a very solid lap from Bogdan indeed, and I believe he can go even faster without that oversteer moment he had. And he seems to be only other driver alongside Larson, who is on a lap, well, on the track at the moment, and then people just leaving the pits. So Larson starting his hot lap, joins the session a little late, so he might not be in full swing of practice at the moment, but he's driving with that solid number 5 in the Aston Martin, and that always brings out pretty good luck, I do believe so. Anyways, let's see what he is able to do. So I haven't seen him race much, so I'm not quite sure what to expect, but it'll be good entertainment nevertheless. So he comes, I'm gonna pull up the track map actually, see what the corner names are. track map of Hungary. There you go. Alright, so as he navigates the chicane, does he hit the curbs? No, he doesn't. Very beautifully done. Great exit. Good speed all around. So far looking like to be a pretty clean lap from Larsen. Maybe a top 3, top 4 kind of lap. We'll have to wait and see. Anyways, I found the track map. I'm trying to find the corner names. Are there any corner names? Oh yeah, there are. I just can't pronounce them. Anyways, very sorry for that. As he comes into turn 14, on the exit he goes DRS open. What's it gonna be? 1:16.7. So okay, a bit off of my prediction, but it is pretty close. It's only 3/10 off P3. So concerning it's his first lap and he came a little bit late in the session, not the worst. You are right. Witkowski pointed this out in chat. There is a weird RL after Larsen. We're not quite sure what that means. We believe it used to be Racing League, but yeah, who knows nowadays. But anyways, he's letting the driver behind him pass. That is Hyper. He is on the soft tires. So he's, as you see, set up purple sector 1. Assuming as Bogdan retires from the session, so does Pandakoi. Oh, a little bit swirly on the exit there. How is he going to navigate the chicane? Goes a little bit deep to start with, but it gets a great exit. So is it raining in the race? I'm not sure, as there's a Haas getting out the way of Hyper there. Beautifully done, and it looks like Hyper has backed out of his lap. So maybe he invalidated or had a bit of an issue in his quali lap and decided to back out and maybe recharge, try and do another one. I've just been told in chat that it seems to be a dry race. So yeah, there's no wets for now. But anyways, Ocean Chiefs thinking that qualifying on mediums is not the right move to be, as there will be safety cars. And I just see there's more drivers joining, as Triton has joined, and so is Bailey Thompson. And it looks like Hyper is going for a second hot lap now after a little bit of a cooldown lap, trying to recharge his battery and all that stuff. But while that happens, Torska... Oh. While that happens, we go back to Hyper. So, soft tires. I'm quite interested to see what the speed is on these tires. Is it beneficial to qualify on the softs compared to the mediums? Ocean Chief certainly thinks so, as he says there will be safety cars. We saw a few safety cars happen in Tier 2, even though quite a few of them were just people spinning on their own into the walls, like we saw Pixel do earlier on his hot lap. Anyways, there seems to have been a spin at turn 1. Is that Triton? Please don't tell me that's Triton. He got going again, but he was stationary for quite a while. I'm not sure if he had a bit of a spin. Ocean Chief says there will be blood. Alright, I guess maybe there will. Maybe there will. As long as the driver doesn't run another driver off the track while running himself off the track, I think we should be okay. But anyways, Hyper rounding the final few corners now into turn 14. What is he able to produce? I haven't been keeping an eye on the sector times, so it's coming to the start-finish line now as he puts in a 1:15 flat, a full second faster than the medium tire runners. So if most people qualify in the softs and the medium tire runners are outside the top 10, then they would have just wasted that tire. So it's a very solid lap from Hyper indeed, and he retires from the session as well. Probably believes he does not have time to do another lap. I'm not sure that's very smart, because his AI will now be blocking other people on a hot lap. As you see in the background, is that Justin coming through? Oh, that could have been a bit of a hindrance to Justin's hot lap, but there's nothing Hyper can do about that, as his car was in control of the AI, and it seems to have gone off the track as well. Interesting. Reset him to the pit lane. Okay, so Justin navigating the chicane there. See what he's able to do on his sector times when he comes up to the sector line. Doing pretty well so far, I'd say. Very solid lap indeed, looks very clean and fast. Might have been hampered a bit by the AI of Hyper. See what he happens crosses the sector line. It's pretty much dead to what he was earlier on in this lap. So into turn 12 he goes, and then turn 13. It's sort of a nice little hairpin section, I guess you can call it. And now final corner, turn 14. Is he able to improve on his lap time? His previous sector said he was slightly down, but he had a better exit this time around. Might be 2-3 tenths quicker as he crosses the line, only just about under a tenth quicker. So he doesn't improve his lap time or positioning on the grid. but it was a 1:16 flat, so that is a quite good indication of where he is race pace wise, at least. So it's quite interesting. And Speedy sets a fastest lap on 1:14.7. That's actually that's a very solid lap right there. Speedy provisional pole puts Justin down to 4th place. Let's see, is there anyone else on the hot lap? Let's see if Bailey, what he is doing. Is he just starting his hot lap? I think Triton's on the end of his hot lap. Oh, yeah, but he seems like he's going straight into the pit lane as he has invalidated. So let's go back to Bailey and see what he is up to. I just noticed Mali doing 4 laps on those medium tires. I do believe they have to start on the tire they qualify on, even though it's not, they have to start on the same tire. What's it called? Tire compound. But they also have to start on the exact same tire. So if he's done 4 laps on mediums, I don't know if that's the one he wants to start on. Hopefully he's getting some new ones in. This is an Alpine off the road there, giving space to Bailey behind. Very nicely done, indeed. As you see Bailey navigating the final parts of the second sector very nicely here. So it's a fun track, Hungary. Quite a high speed, easy to get some off tracks, but it's a high speed technical track. And it's not maybe it doesn't produce the best racing, but it's definitely a very fun one to drive for the drivers indeed. A little bit of a lockup into turn 13, but he does get the power down a little bit sideways, but not too bad. See how he does around turn 14 to the start finish straight now. Bailey sending it as hard as he can, crosses the line, goes P5 overall, so right behind Justin on his medium tires. And these medium tires will be slightly fresher than everyone else on track, as he's only done a singular lap, or hot lap on these tires, but it seems like he's doing quite a fast lap back to the pit lane. Is he going for a second hot lap maybe? Maybe he's going double stinting them. Let's see what his sector time says in sector 1. So he is blank. Thank you, F1 game. Very informative. Let's see, we'll have to wait until he gets to sector 2, navigating chicane very nicely. It goes really wide and good for the exit though. Bailey, very solid driver indeed, knows what to do. Let's see, closer to the exit again, crossing the sector 2 line now. Is he up on his time? Is he not? He has no ERS left. Oh. Why am I commentating this? He's crossed the line with no time left. Oops. I noticed that a bit too late, didn't I? Okay. Technical difficulties aside, Speedy is the fastest driver today on qualifying, followed closely by a Hyper in second place, Bogdan P3 on the fastest medium tire driver. Justin is right behind him with 1/10 in P4 there, followed by Bailey, Mali, Fox, that 186, Panacord, Torska, and then Larson, Pixel, Triton, Lawrence, and Dragon round out the top 15. So yes, AI commentating, you love to see it. You know, there's actually leagues in AC that run AI races only, and they commentate what the AI is doing. It's actually quite entertaining, because the AI is a little bit questionable sometimes. But I'm going to quickly go refill my water bottle. If you do hear any running water, I do apologize. I'm going to be right back. I need to refresh myself a little bit during this race. Water has been acquired. Okay. Alright, I'm now ready for the T1 Hungary race we have coming ahead of us. Let's see what this race is able to produce. I'm looking forward to this one. The last race I did was also Hungary, and that was very entertaining indeed. So, unfortunate that there's no commentator, well, there is a commentator. There's no co-commentator today. But, okay, there you go. I was going to say lap telemetry. Do we need that? Lap data. Yes, telemetry enabled. Detail, let's give them the tires. So here is the tires. So 2 soft tires on P1, P2. P3 down to P7 on mediums. That 186 and Torska on the soft tires and Panacore on the mediums. Larson, interestingly, starting on hard tires, and the other drivers starting on medium tires. Let's see, let's keep the map open, disable the telemetry, yes, and have a look at how this race is going to pan out. Do bear with me if sometimes I stutter a little bit or zone out. I have another thing going on the side that I have to quickly take care of every now and then. But hopefully I should be fine throughout the whole race. We shall see. Interestingly, I'm interested to see the hard tire of Larson. I'll see how he's able to do it. The start will be a little bit difficult for him. And also I do expect Hyper and Speedy to blast off from the start, and then at the end of their stint the medium tire runners will come a little bit closer. But that 186 should also have a great start, as so should Torska. Maybe they could do maybe Torska could do what Lewis Hamilton did today, start from 10th, win P1. We'll have to wait and see. Brilliant race today, Brazilian GP. If you haven't watched it, sorry for the spoiler. But anyways, most drivers here have watched it, because we pushed the race back to be after the race IRL, so I do apologize for that spoiler. Anyways, Speedy leading the drivers into the final few corners now on their outlap. AI will take over soon. Nice and warm, sticky, soft tires on the front of his car there. Also on the rear, of course, but yeah. What is he able to do at the start? I don't know if he runs assists or not. I do know he runs on a pad though, so well, he's a good driver. He knows what he's doing. So interesting start indeed. 15 drivers line up on the grid to do 35 laps around the Hungarian GP. Who is going to come out ahead? We'll have to wait and see. The lights are about to go on, and the engines are heating up. The tires are cooling down. The lights are turning on. I splashed myself in the face with water. I have a great camera angle, but off they go. Green lights out. And, okay, there you go. Speedy leads the pack, followed closely by Hyper. Justin seems to already be trying to make a move on Bogdan, but he seems, around the outside goes Bailey of Justin, trying to stick with him there. Oh, and off the track, a huge crash in the background. That is Bailey Thompson off the track. I did not see what happened there. Might have been contact with Justin or something. That is instantly DNF. I don't know why there's not a safety car. That should be a safety car, but anyways, the drivers have all, apart from Bailey, survived. Larson's dropped to the way back of the grid. I didn't see what happened there, but who's that up in the background? That's Larson going off there indeed, so maybe missed his braking point a little bit. Torska trying to battle out with Triton, who Triton does get ahead for now, but Torska into the corners defending from Pixel. Pixel has to concede the position, and Torska does stay ahead for now. Pit stop strategy is medium hards or medium soft. Medium. For the medium tire runners, as Bailey Tomlinson has left the session. That was a very long Hungarian GP indeed. I'd like to hear what happened in chat from Bailey. If anyone's in the voice chat with him, send him here. I'd like to hear what happened, because I didn't quite catch what happened there, as the camera angle was on Hyper. But anyways, Hyper up front getting put under oh no, is this some sort of desync issue already? Please tell me it's not like this. But anyways, Hyper getting put under pressure of Bogdan. Bogdan trying to make a move into turn 1. Is he going to send it? Yes, he is. He's looking up the inside. Both of them going side by side. Hyper has to be forced to the outside line of the track, but he will have the inside for the next corner. Bogdan can hang it around the outside, and he'll have the inside for the corner after this one. So it is quite a nice sector 1 to battle out with. It looks like Hyper just gets the overspeed on him and stays ahead of Bogdan for now. So there's a brilliant battle between these two drivers. And Kitson says he got yeeted by Justin, give or take. Well, we'll have to wait and see. With the reports, if there is anything of the sorts. It didn't get caught on camera. It just saw him flying off into the distance and into the barrier, and poor Bailey having a tough day at the office. But great battle between Bogdan and Hyper. That would have been crucial for Bogdan's race to get ahead of the soft tire runner so early on in this race. But anyways, Cody Lawrence up to P8 already, having overtaken 3-4 drivers. Brilliant start as always. As we know, he's a very solid driver in this series, and he is a reserve, but he knows how to handle this car around this track. So he expects him to put in some overtakes very soon. There's a bit of a DRS train going on. Well, DRS is not enabled yet, but a bit of a slipstream train going on here. Speedy is setting the fastest lap as he's trying to build that 1 second gap that is so crucial to the drivers behind. And DRS is now enabled, but I don't think anyone of the drivers had it by the time it got enabled, so they'll have it on the next DRS zone. So no overtakes just yet into the corner, but Cody Lawrence is getting put under pressure by that 186 now, as those soft tires are beginning to come a bit more to life than the mediums, at least for now. It won't take long until the medium tires are ahead of the soft tires. So we'll have to wait and see who manages to get out ahead on that strategy. As right now we're just riding with Cody Lawrence. A solid little train happening here. It's still giving drivers the time to space out and get into their own rhythm. And this is the time we can really make up a lot of positions in the race if you are brave enough. So we'll have to wait and see if any of the drivers are sending it. I'll keep an eye on the battle between Pixel, Dragon and Torska. But until then, I think the battle here between Panakoi and Lawrence, and that one as well, to be honest, could be a bit more exciting maybe. We'll have to wait and see. The drivers coming into the final few corners now. The top one have all sort of starting to, top four have started to check out ahead of Fox. Let's see a brilliant exit there for Panakoi. Is he able to line something up on Mali? Both of them have DRS though. Mali pulls to the inside to break the slipstream, and it looks like the DRS train is too strong. Panakoi just stays behind for now. It looks like no other driver is making a move. Yeah, so they all stay in that train as it is. But what is Torska going to do on Triton? Gets a little bit sideways on exit there. Don't think it's quite close enough to try and do anything to Triton. So everyone stays in the position they are for now. So is the nature of the Hungarian track. Anyways, Cody Lawrence very close to Panakoi, having a bit of a look up the inside, but I think it's more just trying to break the slipstream and dirty, as Triton already picks up a 3-second time penalty for multiple warnings, which means it's been off track 3 times already in this race. And there's a beautiful camera shot of all the cars going through the chicane there. Great camera work by the cameraman on the track indeed here. You can see Cody Lawrence slowly but surely applying just that much more pressure on Panakoi. Panakoi goes off track, and there is a pressure that he needs to apply. It takes 2 positions, well, he loses 2 positions due to going off track there, and that's going to cost Panakoi quite a lot. Now Lawrence is going to be focusing on Mali, who's right ahead. Right ahead of Mali is Fox, who's absolutely getting dropped by the top 4 drivers here. Speaking of top 4 drivers, Hyper lining up a move on Speedy. Is he going to make it? Looks like he's having a look up the inside with the DRS open. Gets ahead in the braking zone, gets ahead on the exit of the corner. He has P1 currently, gets the DRS as well, but right behind him is Speedy. Speedy might be looking to fight back on Hyper into the turn 3, but he does back out of it a little bit. So Hyper now takes that P1 position, and Speedy now has to think about Bogdan behind him, who is about to surmount his attack as well. As you saw Bogdan get really close to overtaking Hyper early on in the race. But Speedy down to P2 after being basically eaten alive by the DRS of Hyper in that Alfa Romeo. Torska looks like he's gone off track, spinning around. There is a bit of a wing, there's the side plate damage, so he's going to have to pit. I'm not quite sure what happened there. Maybe a bit of contact with the drivers he was fighting, but very unfortunate indeed. Let's see, the Red Bull driver of Dragon is now rounding, closing up to Pixel. Both on medium tires, by the way, so Dragon maybe gonna have a look up the inside now. He's a very smart driver in that sense. He won't be doing anything stupid like running your opponent off the road while missing the braking point yourself and running yourself off the road. Anyways, he's running really closely, and Pixel, crucially, is actually out of that DRS zone. We could be seeing Dragon overtaking Pixel here, but there's more battles happening up ahead. We're gonna have to try and keep an eye on this. Mali maybe overtaking Fox into turn 1. Is he gonna make it stick? And in the background we see that one trying to line up a move in Pandagor. He does make it stick. Mali up to P5, just about. Yeah, Fox does manage to slot in behind him. So Mali up to P5, Lawrence up to P6. While that was happening, Dragon and Pixel had a good scrap, but Pixel still managed to stay ahead of Dragon. It looks like Fox got a great run though on Mali on the exit there, and a little bit of a contact into turn 5, and that's a dangerous spot to try and go side by side. Fox does have to split back out of it, and it looks like Dragon picks up a 3-second time penalty. This very early on in the race to get that time disadvantage, but Mali stays ahead for now. Brilliant battle going on at the moment between the P5 and P9. Actually, they're running really closely to each other. It's a shame it's a bit of a DRS train. Triton has now joined this train. Pixel is just within a second of it. So basically, all the way from P5 down to P13 is in the fight. But it looks like Mali is slowly but surely getting out ahead. Let's jump to that one who's sort of in the middle of this pack. See what is happening. As Cody Lawrence lining up a move on Fox. Is he going to be able to do it? Has Fox got DRS for the next straight? Looks like he does. Just managed to stay in that DRS zone. That 186 will have to use this to defend from Cody Lawrence, but does Cody use his battery? Or sorry, Cody is up ahead, and he's up ahead. He's attacking Fox. So yes, Cody just managed to get past Fox into turn 1, but it looks like Fox is trying to do a bit of an undercut maneuver on Cody, but it looks like it doesn't work out for him, as that one goes up the inside of Fox into turn 3, or turn 2. Oh, a little bit of contact there between the two drivers, and he has to back out of that one for now. That one now getting swallowed alive by Pandakoi. Pandakoi right up there behind him, ready to pounce by any mistake that happens, as he made a mistake earlier on in the race. But it looks like Fox does, with that little bit of contact, does manage to stay out of that one just for now. Seems like the drivers behind him have a bit more race pace than he would have expected, and now the two Ferrari drivers and the Red Bull have joined this train as well. Quite a good battle happening here, but I have to keep an eye on what's happening up front, because Justin, Speedy, Hyper, and Bogdan's got it ahead. Bogdan is now leading the race. When did that happen? I never caught that on the timings, but I assume Bogdan got past Hyper into turn 1 last lap, and now it looks like Justin might be getting past. Where's Speedy? Oh, Speedy's gone into the pits. So Speedy has now gone into the pits, so he does get past Speedy. So maybe the soft tires are already starting to run off there. Let's jump back to... Oh, okay. Of course it jumps to Speed. Let's jump back to this battle here. Anyone making any moves? It looks like everyone, so the DRS train sticking where they are. Of course, the moment I press to go for the... Wait. Triton. Where helmet? Where is it? Why you no have helmet? The mad lad from Australia living in California himself has decided to race without a helmet this weekend. Interesting strategy to save some weight. That Fox is off the road. Wait, what? Okay. Timing board glitch maybe or something, I don't know. But Pandakoi is right up behind, and so are the two Ferrari drivers going back to this battle now. Not quite sure what happened there, but interesting. Interesting. Anyways, Pandakoi, P8, trying to surmount a charge on P6. Oh, gets really close to the rear wing of that one there. Looks like those soft tires are beginning to run off a little bit. Speedy with a very early pit stop though. Not quite, maybe it was a bit too premature. But he probably thinks the undercuts is worth trying to do here. So Pandakoi on that 186. Is he able to do it 2 tenths between them? But both with DRS, so nothing seems to be happening. Let's go to Triton, who is now... Oh, well, he was headless in last shot. But he still has no helmet. Very crisp indeed. Triton just a Giga Chad. He doesn't need a helmet to race in F1 cars. It is unnecessary weight that is just being added to him. He can support himself without a helmet. What a Chad. Anyways, Dragon behind his teammate Pixel, still 2 tenths between them. He's being very patient there, just waiting for the opportunities to arise, and I do believe they might happen soon. Although Pixel is a very solid, excuse me, and consistent racing driver. So we'll go have a look and see what Pandakoi is doing to try and attack that 186. I'm going to take a break. We're only 9 laps in and my voice is already dying. Fox now picks up a 3-second time penalty. That is going to hamper him a little bit. Looks like Justin managed to get his way past Hyper at the end, so those medium tires definitely seem to be stronger than the soft tires as Hyper does go into the pit lane now. Cody Lawrence has DRS on Mali. Mali taking interesting lines to try and defend from Cody. Cody just in the back. Oh my god, what's happening in the background? Pandakoi making his move on that one almost into the wall. Does manage to get ahead, so Pandakoi up to P6. Brilliant racing between the two drivers. That sort of caught me off guard. I saw a Mercedes drive into the wall or something, but he does survive this time around. And now that 186 has the two Ferraris and the Red Bull Dragon behind him. Larson is also slowly but surely getting into this battle here. I've also just noticed Hyper came out a second behind Speedy, so the undercut is quite strong here. Hyper did pit, was ahead of Speedy when Speedy pitted, but maybe Speedy was a bit too prematurely. We're not too sure. Those tires might fall off a little bit at the end of the race. That one has a huge train behind them. They are eager to get past. Those soft tires are done. Pixel very close to Triton as well. We could see potentially a 3-way fight into turn 1. If that one pulls into the pit lane, Triton will be a sitting duck, as I do believe the pits Oh, sorry, the DRS line is after the pit. Oh, look how close Triton is getting, sniffing the fumes of that Williams engine, and he does go into the pit. So now Triton will have to try and defend from Pixel on the straight. Pixel, meanwhile, has to try to defend from Dragon. We could see a three-way battle into turn 1, all of them at DRS, but Triton doesn't have that. Oh, okay. This is not as exciting as I thought. Anyways, Triton now has Pixel and Dragon behind him, and maybe next lap around we'll see some interesting battles. Cody, meanwhile, getting very close to Mali into turn 3. Not quite able to make the move yet, but he does seem to be putting a lot of pressure on Mali. It's a matter of time, I think, before he manages to overtake Pandekoi as well, also very close to Fox on track. So quite a few battles to keep an eye out for here at the moment, but I'll have to wait until, I believe, turn 1 to really get an eye for what's going to happen. Oh, contact, I think, or maybe Triton goes off the road. Pixel is going to get ahead, and so is Dragon, it seems, as Triton loses 2 positions due to, I don't know if there was contact, but he definitely went off the road in the chicane. And the helmetless driver losing 2 positions, 1 to Pixel, 1 to Dragon. So Ferrari having a little bit of a poor scrap there in the chicane, but it's okay. They all survived, they all lived to fight another day, and now Triton will be the one attacking, which in my personal experience is nicer than defending. So now Cody Lawrence putting his attack on Mali, has the DRS, has the overspeed, he's also helmetless. What is he able to do? Goes into turn 1 looking to the left. He doesn't even need to look at the racing line where he's going, and it looks like it sort of cost him a little bit as Mali gets a bit of an undercut on him and gets a better exit. Now he has to keep it on the inside, but Mali stays around the outside. This gives him the inside for the next corner, but if Cody can keep the speed up, he can get past it. Still going side by side. Now into turn 5, I believe it is, and Cody has the inside, so Mali will have to back out, and he does seem like he does. So Cody and Mali, brilliant battle side by side throughout the whole of Sector 1, and Cody Lawrence is the one to get out on top. Meanwhile, Pandekoi is still applying pressure onto Fox. Hasn't really managed to take him yet, but he just needs to apply that pressure, and at one point one of them will crack. Dragon, in the meantime, has almost also managed to make his way past Pixel, but while this was happening, Cody does pick up a 3-second time penalty, which is very unfortunate indeed. So sorry, Cody. Brilliant overtake, but it might have cost you a bit too much in the end there. But obviously it all comes down to the end of the race, what sort of time penalties all the drivers have around you. This can all change very quickly, as we've seen many times before. So we'll have to wait and see what happens there. It looks like Pixel is actually struggling a little bit behind Dragon as Triton. Well, he pulls into the pit lane, and Triton is now promoted to P8. Pandekoi on the back of Fox with the DRS, makes the overtake before the braking zone, slots it in front of him. Pandekoi up to P5, and that is a simple overtake done with the DRS there from Pandekoi. Oh, excuse me. Meanwhile, Mali sticking with Justin for now. That is all he really needs to do. Bogdan up in front, 2.7 seconds out of, sorry, not Justin. Mali sticking to Cody Lawrence. Bogdan up ahead 2.5 seconds again ahead of Justin. His yellow flag sector 2 is that, I believe that is Fox that is off. And he has a broken front wing as well, so I wonder if there's any contact there between the drivers. I'm not sure if there was. A bit of an odd place to go up. He gets a 10-second time penalty for exceeding track limits. You can see him in the background there with no front wing. That is an insanely difficult car to drive. He has to nurse that one back all the way to pit lane. That's an unfortunate end to his charge here at Hungary with that 10-second time penalty. He's going to struggle quite a lot to make his way back up. Excuse me, back up to, I believe it was P5 when he lost out. So unfortunate there indeed. And I've just noticed in the background, Speedy, the first of the pit stop, is only 2 seconds behind Larson, and Hyper only 6 seconds behind him. So these two drivers definitely not giving up yet, trying a massive undercut. Seems like it worked out because the other drivers have meetings and haven't pitted yet, so we don't actually know until they pit. So bear with me. And Fox does seem to retire in the pit lane. So that's an unfortunate end to Fox's career. Well, not career. Oh no, a spin! In the background, the Aston Martin of Larson into the wall, retired on track. And surely that has to bring out a safety car now with the yellow flags on track. Broken car as well. If not... Okay, I guess not. Maybe not even a virtual safety car? Okay. I guess. Right, fine. That was a big hit from Larson as he just spins it under the throttle. Spins on the throttle on the exit there. Pixel just gets behind that one on this lap, but he is on two lap younger tires, and that one does not have any DRS into turn 1, so Pixel can just stay close enough. This should be a pretty good overtake from Pixel. Bear with me, I'm very tired. I had a long weekend. It was my birthday yesterday, actually. I celebrated all night long. Hence my voice is slowly dying again. But yeah, I do apologize for any small breaks I need to take for myself to just quickly refresh what is going on. Oh, that's my water, don't worry. Anyways, Pixel with the DRS into turn 1, not able to get close enough, I don't think. No, it doesn't look like you have to be within 3 or 4 tenths to try and get an overtake done into turn 1, but that doesn't mean you can't get an overtake done into turn 3. I believe that second kick is considered a turn. So here he goes, maybe going to try and go around the outside. Looks like that one goes a little bit deep though, compromises his exit a little bit. Pixel now isn't able to capitalize on it because of the nature of the track, so he just has to stay behind for now. This is costing him a little bit of time, but Pixel definitely seems to have a bit more pace that he can try and use to overtake that one there on track. And Speedy has now caught up to the back of Triton on fresher hard tires. He has quite a lot of pace in that Alpine. And I'm afraid if that's the case, Triton might be a sitting duck on the straight, but Triton's definitely, of course, still has to go into the pits before we can really call this a battle. And it looks like Triton, as I say, that does go into the pits. First of the hard tire runners, sorry, medium tire runners. Well, that's a lie. Pixel pitted lap slap. Second Ferrari to go into the pit lanes on those medium tires. It allows Speedy to get DRS, and so does Hyper. So Hyper's not able to make a move on this lap around, but Hyper's getting closer and closer to Speedy, and just like Pixel on that one, I think it's just a matter of time before they swap positions on track. Let's try and see if anything else is happening. Triton leaving the pit lane as we see how strong this undercut is, and it looks to be very strong, even though Pixel is stuck behind that one. He is 4 seconds ahead of Triton in 2 laps, so that's 2 seconds a lap. I wonder what Speedy and Hyper look like come the end of the race with Bogdan and Justin, and which one of those drivers is going to call the shot first to go into the pit lane. If I was Justin, I would try to do an undercut soon, and if I was Bogdan, I would also try and consider pitting soon to cover the chance of an undercut happening. But anyways, Pixel here in the Ferrari, as there's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Hyper? He's lost 4.5 seconds or something to Speedy. I'm not sure if he had a little disconnect there or something, or had a spin. It doesn't look like he has any damage. Let's see if he goes into the pit lane, as both Mali and Pandakoi go into the pits. And Hyper no, Hyper goes into pit lane, so he has definitely picked up some damage of some sort. A bit of an incident there. Maybe with, he had an incident there with Speedy. Maybe not, as he actually just retires straight away in the pit lane. So that's a bit unfortunate. Mali and Pandakoi leaving the pit lane now, as we see Speedy, well, that one in Pixel gaining on them. I think Pandakoi will come out ahead just by 1 second. And see in the background there, Pixel trying to line up around and move around the outside of the Williams driver. Sticking it out. See, he gets a better exit though, the Williams driver does. And Pixel with the DRS trying into turn 2, sends it up the inside. Is he going to be able to stick it on the inside, or is the Williams going to carry the speed around the outside? Looks like Pixel has kept the speed up and going. Pixel with a great overtake on that one, up to P8, and now he starts his charge to get up to Pandakoi, who has just gone out of the pit lane, 3 seconds behind Mali. Speedy, on the other hand, is just chilling up there, having a free lap, so it doesn't look like it's over yet for Pixel. He's made a bit of a mistake. That Williams going up the inside into the chicane. Pixel has to go around the outside, not much he can do there, and there's bullets flying everywhere, so that is Pandakoi going off track right in front of him. A great defensive move from Pixel. That one has to stay behind. Pixel stays in P8. And now it gets interesting. Justin into the pit lane. Of course, it's Triton who jumped Cody when that happens. So Justin in the pit lane. Has he done enough to stay ahead of Speedy, or has Speedy done an undercut of Dreams here? It looks like Speedy down the start-finish straight is able to get past. So Speedy is promoted up to provisional P2. Justin will have much fresher tires come the end of the race, though. It is a difficult track to overtake, but we have seen it before. Much fresher tires does equal an overtake on this track most of the time. So Justin has a little bit of a battle coming his way, but surely with 9 laps fresher hard tires, he is able to survive on this strategy and overtake Speedy, who has just overtaken him on the undercut strategy, which is quite a big undercut, mind you. 9 laps. I don't really think you can count that as an undercut anymore. But anyways, that is what has happened. Bogdan now needs to consider pitting, as Justin will have significant pace on him, or he is hoping that Speedy will hold up Justin a little bit, but it looks like Speedy's actually losing a little bit to Dragon ahead, so yeah, Bogdan probably just hoping that he's holding him up, but it's not going to be long until Justin gets past. Bogdan does go for another lap. He believes those 18 lap all mediums will survive, so we'll have to wait and see if he pits on lap 19 instead. Both the AlphaTauris going ahead. So here we go. Justin, much fresher tires, 5 tenths behind. Is he going to get the exit he needs to get past Speedy? Only 5 tenths within it. Speedy, I'm not sure if he's using his ERS or not. Doesn't quite look like it. Justin's gaining very rapidly. Is he gonna... has a look up the inside, but isn't quite able to be close enough to send it. But he does have DRS into turn 3. And now Speedy has to defend the inside line, and Justin trying going around the outside, but Speedy's just a bit too far ahead for that to happen. So Speedy does stay ahead for now on this track, and basically it's impossible to overtake in the rest of this track. It's in the first sector if you want to overtake, and it looks like Justin, even with this battling, has set a best server best, and then Speedy is actually gaining on the drivers ahead. Bogdan needs to consider pitting very soon, or he will lose out that P1 position he's had. Let's see if he does go into the pit lane on the track map, and it doesn't look like yes, he's going for another lap. Bogdan might be throwing this one away, and Speedy gets a little bit sideways on exit. That might allow Justin to get closer, and that's actually cost Justin a little bit as the speed has to drop down a little bit. And Bogdan, never mind, he does go into the pits. So this is the pit. Bogdan excuse me. Bogdan goes into the pits. Can Speedy and Justin get ahead of Bogdan in the pit lane? That's going to be very tight indeed. We have to wait and see until Bogdan leaves the pit lane. They're going onto the start-finish straight now. Bogdan, Dragon into the pits. Bogdan leaving the pit lane now. He does come out ahead of them, but they will have the overspeed into turn 1. Speedy and Justin are going to be super close, and while that's happening, Justin gets past Speedy with the DRS into turn 1. Bogdan has managed to cover the undercut, and with the help of Speedy, and stays ahead with a 2 lap younger, fresher tires than Justin has. It took me a while to find the words, but I got there in the end. We have brilliant stuff from Justin. Makes his way up to what is provisionally P2. We'll have to wait and see what Cody Lawrence, where he places after going into the pit lane, but I believe that is the last of the pit stop, as most drivers are going for a 1-stop this race. Speedy and Torska might have to do another stop though, as they are already on 11 lap old mediums and still have 15 laps to go. That might be quite a stretch to bring these tires to, but it is possible. We have seen it happen before, so anything can happen. We could also, a safety car could happen at some point, and that would be changing the strategy right there and then for many of these drivers, as I believe most of them will go into the pit, and one driver definitely will go into the pit if safety car is called out now, is Cody Lawrence, because he gets a free pit stop and a great positioning from it. But it's obviously not happening at the moment, so it's just all speculation. That could be quite exciting if it did happen, but for some reason it isn't. Anyways, if you've just joined, welcome to 2S Tier 1. I think it's the time to tell you guys to thank you for watching on this stream and joining along and commenting in the chat. Remember to leave a like and subscribe if you haven't already. If you're new to this stream, or if you've not seen a TOS race before or not part of the Discord, the link will be in the description, as well as the other dates of streaming. We on Mondays, so tomorrow we will be streaming the final race of ACC, which is going to be at Nürburgring, and it's going to be at 7:30 CET or 6:30 British time PM. On Tuesdays we have Tier 2 starting at 8:30 CET or 7:30 British time. It will be, I'm not quite sure what track it will be, but it's going to be the same track also that these guys are driving. Someone let me know in chat if what track is going to be on next. Other than that, we have Wednesdays. We might be having an AC IndyCar stream yet again. We're a bit unsure about that one. We'll have to wait and see what the IndyCar admin decides about that one, as the championship has been pretty successful sometimes and very unsuccessful other times. It's a bit of a hit and miss with that one, so we'll have to wait and see. But otherwise, we have Tier 1 on Sunday, not the same time next week. It should be at, well, actually, considering the Qatar race is late in the evening as well, it might be at the same time. We'll have to wait and see and hear what the admins have to say about that one, as we don't want to miss the real F1 race because we're racing F1 in a game, if that makes sense. But yeah, thank you guys for being in the chat and keeping me company here as a solo commentator. It's been a decent weekend for me. It was my birthday yesterday that I celebrated, and now I'm just trying to overcome this hangover while streaming and drinking water. Anyways, let's have a look at this battle between Dragon and Pandacoy. Dragon making his way up the field as he always does, starting from the back of the field. For some reason he doesn't like to pit. Don't understand why, but here he is. Dragon on Pandacoy. I think, yeah, he's just come out the pit lane, so he will have pressure tires. It's a matter of time before he gets past Pandacoy. We saw Pandacoy make a mistake earlier when battling with, I believe it was Fox and Cody. But we also had that hand at Pandacoy going off track and conceding a position because of it. But this time around, it looks like he's very stable, more in his thoughts. Definitely has more control over the car, and now it's Dragon has to do a bit more difficult to overtake, but he's very close by. Only 2 tenths between them into the turn 13, and oh, look how close he's getting on the rear wing of that Mercedes. Red Bull versus Mercedes. We've seen this one before. Red Bull looks like it's going to come out ahead of this time around. Dragon only 2 tenths behind, will have the DRS and DRS, and most likely will breeze past Pandacoy, but we'll have to wait and see. We know that Merc is fast in the straight line, but so is the Red Bull. It's also a very fast straight line car as it goes into turn 1. Dragon seems to just get ahead of Pandacoy, but Pandacoy gets a better exit, trying to do a bit of an undercut move. Dragon opens DRS again to stay ahead, and it looks like he has the inside for turn 3, and he will cover off that inside beautifully. Dragon up to P6, nice little overtake on Pandacoy, and he has to gain about 3 seconds now for that one to count towards the end of the race. Nice little scrap between these two drivers happening here. I've just noticed that 186 and Pixel are still having a nice battle, although last time around it was Pixel behind that one, and this time it is that one behind Pixel. I'm going to take a little bit of a break, give my voice a break, and yeah, thank you guys for keeping me company in chat. Alright, I'm just looking through Tier 1 chat to see if there's anything I am missing or any sort of funnies that's happened. Look, so far this race has actually been really good. It's been quite nice to see. And alright, let's have a look in Tier 1 chat, see if we can find any sort of juicy details. It looks like it just says, Tipsy Boss says, and Bailey Thompson spins, bunch of unfortunate reacts, and yeah, that's about it. Larson apparently lost the car on the inside curb of turn 3. Doesn't really know how that happened, but oh well. He has retired because of it. Pixel gets overtaken by that one while that happens into turn 1. So sorry that I missed that battle while catching the stream, but these two Ferrari drivers and the Williams driver as well have been battling out quite hard this whole race. So it's a blue car, well, apart from Haas, blue cars top 8. Pixel and Triton, the only other splash of color on the grid at the moment. And then Torska there in P11. And we sadly have lost Hyper, Larson, Fox and Bailey today. The only one I think that was due to contact was Thompson, as he was spun around before getting into turn 3 on lap 1 with contact with Justin. So maybe Justin has a penalty coming his way, or maybe it's an NFA. We'll have to wait and see with the reports. I'm actually going to check the incident reports if Bailey has reported it. It doesn't look like he has. So I think for now maybe just leave it at racing incident until said otherwise. Breezy joined briefly and left the session. Now maybe he was spectating. If he was, it's always nice to spectate these sort of races. Right now all the drivers sort of in a little bit of a limbo mode, I guess you can call it. Not really any close battles happening on track, but saying that, Triton making his way past Pixel. I don't think Pixel's going to make this too difficult on Triton, as he does manage to get ahead of Pixel. Pixel losing a bit of pit wall. Not too sure actually, as Pixel does get a little bit better exit, but the DRS is helping Triton to stay ahead. Pixel losing 2 positions in 2 laps down the start finish straight. Maybe those tires are beginning to wear off a little bit quicker than he would have liked. 11 lap old hard tires. I wonder what it's like for Torska and Speedy. Speedy and Justin were just a few laps ago right next to each other. It looks like Speedy is losing about half a tenth to a second each lap on those 16 lap old hards. Is he able to nurse those home to get that P4, or will he have to do another pit stop to make sure he doesn't get a puncture? Stay tuned to see. Panico is still within the second of Dragon, but it's not going to be close enough to make an overtake at the moment. Not at least. Dragon will have to make a mistake, and also looks like Panico is slowly but surely falling out of that DRS range. And it's down to 9 tenths now. Looks like he's just within it, so he will get DRS from Dragon to just drag him along. Dragon. Imagine Dragon. Okay. Panico down the start-finish straight with the DRS open. He's not going to be able to get close enough, so he just has to stay within 3 seconds. That's all that he has to do. And then he gets that free position for Dragon due to the penalties. He also has to stay off the track limits, of course, to make advantage of those 3 seconds. But it is Pandakoi after all. He needs a very solid driver, pretty consistent as well. I've just noticed Cody Lawrence, still on those medium tires. What are you doing, lad? They must be screaming at the moment. As if drivers with the hard tires that are older are struggling. I wonder how it must feel like for Cody Lawrence. But he is, just like Checo Perez, his favorite driver, a tire whisperer. We've seen it day in, day out many times in F1 races. As he also is not wearing a helmet in this race. What is it with drivers not wearing helmets in Hungary? I guess you can just do things you can't normally elsewhere in Hungary with those helmets. So Cody Lawrence and Triton, I believe it was, driving without helmets. And again, he's looking to away from the apex, going into turn 1. Interesting strategy there from Cody Lawrence, but it seems to be working out for him so far, and maybe that is his way of whispering to the tires. He's literally looking at the tire with most pressure on it during the corner. Alright, please take it easy now, don't rub off too hard. And maybe that is his little magic spell that he casts looking away from the apex. So Cody Lawrence, interesting driving, but he does manage to maintain his gap to Justin, but not to Bogdan. Bogdan has closed him down. Justin also has closed him down quite a little bit, but not as quickly as Bogdan, obviously. Bogdan, this should be a decently easy overtake, as those medium tires, I believe, will be close to puncture territory, if not in puncture territory already, on that Aston Martin there. So I'm going to expect him to be pitting very soon for some fresh. Maybe he's going for medium soft. I think he might be going for medium soft. This could be very interesting. This could be a classic Cody Lawrence race if he manages to pull this off. He is into the pit now. Let's see what sort of tires he puts on. Bogdan gets promoted to P1 because of this. Justin pulled sweet to P2. And into the pit lane he goes. That is soft tires. So Cody Lawrence has gone a medium soft tire strategy. He was about P5 when he entered the pit lane. Will he be P5 leaving the pit lane? Yes, he will. He will also be the only driver on fresh new soft tires. Watch him come storming through the field. I believe this is a podium about to happen for Cody Lawrence. He does have those 3 seconds though to worry about. That will make his life just a bit more difficult, but so does Speedy. So if he manages to get ahead of Speedy, stay 3 seconds ahead of Mali, he will most likely get out of this race with a podium. So Lawrence starting, I believe it was P12, on the verge of on for a strong podium finish at the moment. This will be an interesting fight to watch towards the end of the race. Stay tuned for that, guys. I've been asked to get a leader time instead of interval. Sure, of course. Bear with me, and here is the leader times. So he is 18 seconds behind Bogdan, who is 4 seconds ahead of Justin, but he's only 6 seconds behind Speedy, which is that podium he's going for. There's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Triton off? It looks like there's a bit of damage. Well, I'm not sure if there's damage with this angle. But, oh, by the way he's driving, he seems to be struggling with no front wing, and he has to be lifted coasting. There's no end plate on the right side of his front wing, so he definitely has damage of some sort. If there was contact with his teammate, I'm not sure. But Triton has somehow managed to put it into the wall slightly, and he now has to nurse his car back to the pit lane. Torska will finally have someone to be battling with in this race. He's been in no man's land at the moment with the helmetless driver. Comes into the pit lane now and will start to change his tires and front wing. Very unfortunate there indeed as well. Go back to Cody Lawrence, who is now only just about over 2 seconds behind Mali, and absolutely flying on these. I would not surprise me if he gets the fastest lap on this lap, or by the time he finishes the lap, have caught up to Mali. Look at it, he's closing that gap down extremely fast. At the moment, it's just 3/10 in the chicane alone. I think he might catch Mali by the end of this lap, you know, and then overtake Speedy right after this. He could actually be on for a look. There's a purple in sector 2. He could be on for a P2 position if only if Justin picks up a 3-second time penalty. And look at this, Justin has also been gaining on Bogdan, so maybe Bogdan has 2 warnings and has decided to take just a little bit of a step back at the moment. But Cody Lawrence, wow, what a lap! 1:16.8 in race with 5 laps to go. Mounting his charge on Mali, he will be able to take this with a breeze. It's a yellow flag in sector 2. Is that Triton off again into the wall? Triton leaving the pit lane has gone off, or is he not? Wait, he boxed, right? Yeah, he boxed. He's on soft ice. He's gone off yet again, having an absolute horrid final part of this race at the moment. That's so unfortunate for the Australian driver, but he will most likely lose out on that top 10 finish. As he will have to pit again, and behind him, only just a few seconds, is Torska. So we'll have to wait and see if he does lose on that top 10. I do believe he will, because Torska is way too close to not overtake him when he goes into pit lane. Cody Lawrence taking his time behind Mali, just saving his tires a little bit, lifting and coasting, I think. Watch him pounce at the end of this lap. Sorry, at the end of this. Into turn 14, watch him get on the power very early, be right up behind Mali, as Dragon picks up another 3-second time penalty. That might cost him a little bit to Pandakor is right behind him, and look, almost makes the overtake on the inside on the exit. Excuse me. And Cody Lawrence with the DRS breezes past Mali. And now, well, I wouldn't say breezes past, actually, he has to defend a little bit into turn 1, but he does manage to get ahead. Superior traction on those 2-lap-old soft tires, but compared to 13-lap-old hard tires. His next target is now in his sight, Speedy, only just about a few tenths up the road from him, and I believe we'll see the same happen to Speedy as we saw last lap of Mali. Cody Lawrence will easily be able to get ahead of Speedy. Will he be able to keep a 3-second gap to Mali though? That is the question, as Pandakor actually picks up a 3-second penalty, so that has now stopped the advantage that he had over Dragon and has equalized that one out. For Pandakor, so that is a bit unfortunate, but a P6 or P7 is still a pretty solid finishing position, I'd say so myself. But anyways, Cody Lawrence, let's ride on board with him a little bit, see where he's gaining. Is just under braking on the corner exits everywhere, it seems. He's gaining on Speedy. Speedy going to be a sitting duck down the straights. 20-lap older hard tires compared to these, and that is Triton going into the pit lane and retiring from this race. Ferrari have decided to pull the plug on him, and there seems to be a mechanical failure. Also got disqualified for not wearing a helmet, it seems. So anyways, Speedy defending on the inside. Cody Lawrence going around the outside. Is he able to make this stick? He does have much fresher tires. Speedy, really good defensive line actually. Cody is going to have to fight this one a bit more than he wants to. He will have the inside line for turn 3 though. On those soft tires, is he able to get ahead of Speedy? Speedy trying to hang it around the outside. It does work sometimes, but not today, as Lawrence does get ahead of Speedy. Speedy will have to go down to that P4 position, which might be P5 at the end of the race. And now Cody Lawrence has to build a 3-second gap to Mali to maintain or keep that podium position. Brilliant overtaking and a little bit of a scrap there by Lawrence. And Speedy, unfortunate to be a bit of a sitting duck there. There's not much else he can do on these tires. I've also noticed while this is happening, Justin has closed in 1 second on Bogdan. Is he able to close in enough by the end of the race to make a last lap move on Bogdan? What a finish to the race that would be if that happens. This is shaping up to be quite an exciting Hungarian GP indeed. Alright, do bear with me a little bit as I'm trying to regain my voice as we jump onto the Red Bull of Justin. As you see, he's just slowly but surely gaining on Bogdan. But still around that 2.8 second, 2.8 seconds there, and I'm not too sure if it will be enough from Justin. Bogdan will have to make a mistake somewhere, or Justin will have to find pace somewhere. He does have older tires by 2 laps, but it won't have too much to say at this stage in the race. But it doesn't look like Justin is able to catch with the pace he has now on Bogdan. Bogdan looks set to win this race, but as we said, anything can happen. One mistake is all it takes from either driver to completely throw it away. Just notice Torska went into the pits. Maybe he's gunning for a fastest lap on a new fresh set of soft tires. He is a lap down. However, he is in the top 10, so he will be able to snag an extra point if he gets the fastest lap on these with 2 laps to go. So he has quite an ask ahead of him. It looks like already that Cody Lawrence has built a 3-second gap to Speedy and Marley, so his P3 position is pretty much secured now. It would have been a great drive if that's how it ends up being, from P12 all the way up to P3. 26th lap on medium tires. The tire whisperer himself, learning from his idle check-up errors, manages to get his way up to P3. Brilliant drive so far from him. But what we're really focusing now is on Justin. He's gained 3/4 tenths in the last lap on Bogdan, but that is just not enough to be able to make a charge for the win. Bogdan seems to have this one in the bag. He's been having an absolute stellar race, a stellar qualifying. Started in P4, but it was the first of the medium tire runners. Managed to get his way up to P1 before anyone pitted. So before both soft tire runners pitted, he overtook both of them to get into P1. This was by around lap 7 or something as Triton leaves the session. Ferrari has booted him from the team. They don't want him anymore. Unfortunate Triton, but I guess wear a helmet next time. Unlucky. Bogdan still maintaining a pretty good gap this lap has been pretty identical between the two drivers here. So Justin actually seems to be losing out a little bit on Bogdan. Bogdan having an absolute stellar race so far. And I'm not quite sure where it is in the championship. I'm going to quickly have a look at the championship while we go on to the last lap here with Bogdan. 10 drivers left. Bogdan, the AlphaTauri, leads the race on the final lap. He pretty much has this in the bag. Justin was slower that time around. He has 2.7 seconds to him. No pressure at all. This should all be in Bogdan's hands. Will this be his first win of the new season? I need to quickly check the standings. So the standings are currently as Dragon leading the standings with 30 points. 4 points behind him is Justin. And 7 points behind Justin is Bogdan. So I think it will actually equal up between Justin and Bogdan if Bogdan manages to take this win here. If my maths is correct. Let me just quickly check. So yeah, they will be equal on points if the points finish as they are for the lead of the championship, which will be very good fun to see. As indeed, it is going to be the AlphaTauri's first win today if he does take this one home. I believe he will, as he has been driving an absolute stellar race the whole time. Just the final few corners now as we go into turn 12. And then he has the left hand of turn 13. Will he keep it inside the lines and everything? It seems to be going a little bit easier this time around. Justin also not really gained that much. Bogdan having an absolute stellar race. He comes across the final corner now, turn 14. Good exit, a little bit squirrely. Comes to the start-finish line. Bogdan is your race winner for the Hungarian Grand Prix, followed closely by Justin smashing it into the wall on the start-finish straight. Not the safest way to finish the race, I must say. But Justin getting P2. Cody Lawrence, a brilliant drive from him. Gets that P3 position, smashes straight into Justin. That was the AI moving. Speedy in P4 will drop down to P5 after the penalty from Marley. Marley gets a brilliant P4 finish there. Dragon in P6. Comes across the line now. The Red Bull teammate, everyone's crashing across the line. But Panico actually managed to stay ahead, so he must have had 6 seconds of time penalty. So Panico gets promoted to P6. Dragon gets P7. That's one. We see Torska across the line there. That one in the background getting chased down by Pixel. Is Pixel going to be able to make the overtake? No, he's not. And that is the final standings of your race. Brilliant race, if I do say so myself, between the Tier 1 drivers. And the fastest lap does go to Cody Lawrence, and so does the driver of the day from the game. Cody Lawrence, I believe, set a 1:16.8 as the fastest lap time. And that is an absolute brilliant drive, as we see Bogdan showing his knockoff iPhone on the podium there, lifting up the trophy for the first time in the newfound merged Tier 1, spraying the champagne everywhere. The remaining driver very happy with his performance today, I can agree. So he's had a brilliant drive today indeed, and so has Cody Lawrence, all the way down from P12 up to P3. Absolutely brilliant stuff from the Aston Martin driver as well. Here are the final standings. Bogdan P1, Justin P2, Cody Lawrence P3, Mali in P4, Speedy P5, Panico in 6, Dragon 7, that one 8, Pixel in 9th, and Torska in 10th, followed by 4 DNFs of Triton, Hyper, Larson, and Fox. And for some reason, I still can't scroll down on this menu board. I don't understand why. But that is the race of Hungary GP here at 2S in Tier 1. And I'm going to quickly around race director maybe. Let's have a look. This is for anyone who... we need to look at the incidents. There you go. This is if anyone has a penalty they want to be removed, you can have a look at the stream and get the incidents here. It looks like Torska actually picked up a few warnings there on the last laps while trying to set a fastest lap, so maybe it wasn't validated and he might have been on to the fastest lap, but I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to quickly swap over to the interview screen, and I'm not sure if we will have interviews today. We'll have to wait and see if anyone is willing to do so. It doesn't actually look like it. I see some people in chat, but I don't see anyone wanting to do any interviews unless you say so in the stream chat. I might just have to skip interviews for today, but let's just quickly have a read, see if anyone's willing to do it, and I'll come back to you guys. No, it does not look like there's any interviews, so I think I'll wrap it up there. Thank you everyone for watching. Be sure to watch ACC tomorrow at 7:30 CET PM. Final race of the season. We have both a Constructors Championship battle going on and a Drivers Championship battle between the Trigon Racing and the Bentley Del Amore Racing team. And the two drivers that are battling out for the championship are Chris Witkowski and George Brabner, who, as quite a lot of you will know from the Discord on 2S. Join us on Tuesday as well if you're interested in more F1 content for Tier 2 around... I'm going to get it right this time. See which track it is real quick. Tier 2 around Spa it is next time around. So be sure to join for Spa Tier 2. Tier 2 generally quite an interesting race, and most of the drivers show up as well, so quite a lot of action happening all over the track. If you're interested in Assetto Corsa Indycars, or Indycars in general, be sure to check us out on Wednesday at 7:30 PM CET, as we might be streaming Indycar. We're not quite sure if it's happening yet, as the admin still has to decide, as a few things happened this season that were a bit out of our control. If not, you can always come back on Sundays at... Usually it's 6:30 CET, however, with the F1 races being late in the evening, the IRL F1 races being late in the evening now, the time is probably subject to change. So I'll keep an eye on the Tier 1 check-in time and also on the stream schedule for when Tier 1 will happen next week. Apart from that, thank you everyone who's participated in chat. Remember to leave a like and comment and subscribe. Thank you everyone for watching, and hope you all have a great day.